The cool tip, man. I'm right back at you with the homie T, man. And we're going
What's
live.
good?
We're talking about this Vlad and Boosie beef. But I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Um, I'm honestly surprised about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really surprised by it. Do you know about it a little bit? You heard about this shit?
Yeah, man. From what I've seen online,
Mhm.
Boosie wasn't satisfied with the money he was getting.
Yeah.
He wanted some more money. He felt like he's worth much more than $5,000.
Well, I don't. I think it was. I think he wanted like 5,000 more, some shit like that. But listen, even I saw Vlad speak about the shit, and he kind of shot himself in the foot, in my opinion. Because on one hand, he's like, this is what Boosie's asking for, right? And he turned it down. And he tried to do it like a professional. Like he looked at the analytics, yada, 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 and he tried to come up with a price. But then in the same breath, he said, Boosie has been one of his highest grossing interviews. You know what I'm saying? Several times. And we all know this shit. He was giving them props. Actually, they were like homies. You know what I'm saying? Like Boosie don't let a lot of motherfuckers come to his man. You know what I'm saying? Because he got like a whole little big ass piece of land and shit. And
Yeah.
so put a lot of shit together. And so Vlad is talking about like, yeah, he's great personality. He's shocking and funny and all this type of shit, which he is. So it almost seemed like it would be a smart investment. You see what I'm saying? Like if you had somebody that you're working with, and every time you do something with them, it hits. What's the harm in dropping that paper? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. But Vlad also, and he was what's that word I'm looking for? Anyway, he was open with it, and he showed us like a little sheet of how much views he was getting per
The
interview
analytics.
yeah, with Vlad,
Hmm.
and he was telling the people, okay, Lucy wants XYZ.
Hmm.
As you can see, this interview has XYZ views. This one has XYZ views. I only
Hmm.
get paid XYZ per
Hmm.
video. So he did the calculations. It's like it's not adding up. He wants much more than I'm making from the videos itself.
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. As a businessman, which Vlad is,
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
losing out by paying Boosie much more? You know what I mean? You got to take that into consideration.
That's the thing. See, I get it from the business aspect. I get it, but then I get the gamble. Is it worth the gamble? You like so. What I was saying, like you got somebody that it always hits, and it's a good chance. This is not like a first time nigga. This is not like I'm gonna just try it out and let's see if it works. This is somebody that you pretty much can bank on. That's gonna hit just off the name alone. Don't let it be a fucking controversial topic. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
just off the name alone, people gonna view in just to see what he says, just to see what they're talking about. Because he's one of those. I would think you keep your home team happy. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like you don't have to do that for everybody, but and then check this out. Even on business, if I'm hitting with you constantly, 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 and I'm winning with you constantly, 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 at some point, at any job, at any place, at anything, you can come back to the table and be like, you know what, bro? Hey, let me shoot that shit up a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? Now, Vlad did say that he offered him some paper, but the number wasn't what Boosie wanted. So it gets complicated because it's like, was Boosie greedy or was Vlad being stingy? And then he goes deeper because Vlad has a history where some people say he's a culture vulture. Like he eats off us. You feel me? I don't
yeah,
know if that's really true. I don't really fully believe that, but some people feel like that. So it gives that look like, okay, yeah, I'll pay you this, knowing that it's a big it's a big possibility that I'm gonna make this. You feel me? Knowing there's a big possibility I'm gonna win. Because even when he pays Boosie, he's guaranteed double that for himself. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. So I think he should have paid, or at least up to close to. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to pay the exact number, get close. Niggas negotiate. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
know, a middle ground somewhere. I can't see Boosie being so stubborn where it's like, no, I want this exact number or no deal. You see what I'm saying? I think
yeah,
the big offer was too low and Bad wouldn't go up a little bit more to kind of meet him in the middle and make the shit work. And I think
y-
that's bad business. Really, to me, you know? Because like I
yeah,
said, this ain't a gamble. This ain't no new nigga. You got history. I mean, still to this day, I think some of Boosie's videos are still the highest on his page. And he's done a lot of shit. You know? That's
yeah,
my for real.
yeah.
And
I can agree with that. I definitely can agree with that.
for real. And
And
I heard he got paid more. Like, that 6ix9ine interview he did with Vlad. Yeah, but I don't know for sure, right? But 6ix9ine went on Instagram talking about he got paid more, and he talked, making his jokes and mocking. He could be trolling, you know how he do,
yeah,
but
that's a fact.
he also could be telling the truth because even to this day, 6ix9ine is very polarizing for everything that he's been through and how he talks and all this type of shit and exposing all the snitching and all that shit, right? So
Yeah,
could be true, and if it is true, that would make a nigga like Boosie feel some type of way too. You feel what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
it's the end of that shit. He's like, I hate snitches, and then the snitch comes on, and regardless of how you feel about the circumstances around his snitching, right? 6ix9ine snitching, how Boosie would look at it is like this nigga who's like on the opposite side of the coin of me, got paid more than me, and he don't even stand on the shit I stand. You feel what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that'll make a nigga like Boosie feel some type of way, you know. And then you don't want to budge on the paper, and I'm Boosie, and I put in work for you. You know what I'm saying? Virtually,
yeah,
you know. And then I think what's created the beef is that this was all private, this was all business talk. But then it goes on to, I guess I didn't see this, but from what Vlad was saying, he made some posts or some shit like that. Boosie made some posts or something like that talking about it. You know, and so I guess that what made it quote unquote beef. I don't think it's no real beef. It's just disagreement shit. You feel me? But taking it public, that's I don't really fuck with that. Business should be handled in the office, not on the internet. You feel me?
yeah. I was thinking that too. Like, too many people, especially these celebrities, bring their problems online.
Yeah,
Man, y'all got each other's number. Why y'all can't have that on a phone call? You know what I mean?
exactly. Especially if it started on the phone call, they had to.
That's why a lot of these things are scripted. A lot of these things are gimmicks. You know what I mean? Because they know they'll both benefit from online beef, quote unquote beef. They
Yeah,
know it sells. They know, okay, we whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, it's still publicity, and
exactly.
you can capitalize off of it.
See
So
that?
that's why they do it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It does bring that idea of it does bring that idea of yeah, let's that any publicity is good publicity. Because even with them so-called beefing and shit, and they going their separate ways for now, because I'm sure they're gonna work this shit out. I will hope. You know what I'm saying? I guess I don't even know who I'm really rooting for. I'm always rooting for Boosie, to tell you the truth. But they're still getting the views in their collective spaces. People are still tuning in, so they're still getting paid off this shit while it's going. They're still getting interest while it's going. They're still getting the buzz while it's going. So it's a win-win. They're just not getting that interview that they want. But watch this. If your ideal is right, then they're hyping it up. You understand what I'm saying? But when the interview drop, you did what I mean? Because more people are gonna tune in to see how they either resolve the beef or to see how they deal with the beef. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Hey, I hate to cut you off, but your audio is fine. but the visuals is choppy. You connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you can't see it. I don't now. This is not Wi-Fi. This is just data.
Oh yeah, the
You can't see
visual
it,
is choppy, it's freezing. It's been doing it the whole video, but I felt like giving it some time, it would have stopped.
but has it been real bad? Pretty bad for you to say something.
Yeah, yeah. But
Shit.
don't get me wrong, the audio is good. The audio is not messing up. It's just the visuals.
And this is at 10:41, so I'm gonna try to cut this part out. If it be used, then do you think it's usable?
Yeah, because I feel like it's usable as long as they can still hear the audio. I haven't had no problems with the audio the
Okay.
whole video.
So I know where the goddamn cut come in and edit and cut out this shit. So we'll wrap it up like this, man. I support Boosie in his business endeavors. You know, that's a smart businessman. And I think, like you say, if if it's real business, it should have been handled behind closed doors and settled behind closed doors. For it to come out through the social media platforms and shit like that, for Vlad to even come from behind the camera and talk about it. You see what I'm saying? Now
Yeah,
that even created more buzz because you don't really see Vlad like that, right? So now it will generate that focus to want to come in and whatever interview they do, if that comes to fruition, people are going to want to see what happened, you know? So I think it's a good move either way it go. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. I had a couple questions for you before we head on out, right?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, it's a few of them. I'll make it quick.
Hmm.
All right, so there's a lot of people that say Vlad is bad for the culture, right?
Hmm.
So is Vlad really bad for the culture, or you think he's just doing his job? What do you think on that?
See, all right, so look, when they say he's a culture vulture, I can see what they're saying because he doesn't necessarily talk or do interviews of positivity, if you follow what I'm saying. Most of his shit is about mobsters, gangsters, saying rappers, who trapping and you know what I'm saying, telling the prison stories and all this type of shit. And the culture vulture part comes in where people are like, you're benefiting off the damnation of our communication in our community. You see what I'm saying? You're winning and just let's call a spade as a white man, even though you tapped into the culture because he's been doing hip hop DJing for a long time. That's where the part comes in. So it's not like he don't know hip hop, but they look at it like this white dude. And remember how people used to think about the record labels, right? Ran by Jewish dudes, ran by white dudes and shit. And they eating off of these brothers who get this small advancement, think it's big to them because they ain't never had no money, and then they turn around and go broke while they still winning, right? So,
Yeah,
and then the products they putting out actually hurt the community. Well, the interviews almost seem like you're celebrating fucked up shit. Feel me? I had got locked up talking his gangster shit, his goon shit. Several other people got indicted and shit from interviews with Vlad. People got investigated through interviews with Vlad. Now, is that his fault for giving him the platform to talk crazy? Because he always could be like, hey, let's do an interview with, I don't know, Denzel Washington or Omar Epps or you know what I'm saying, some positive black people. You know what I'm saying, some shit like that, right? He don't do
yeah,
that. He don't do that. He gets 6 9s, and even though I fucking with Boosie, he gets Boosies. Death row murderers, rappers, gangsters. You feel what I'm saying? So I think that he's doing his job, but his job hurts the community. If I'm gonna put it like that, I think he's doing his job, but just like the gangster rappers or the whole rappers, you know, it may be entertaining, but it subsequently is a form of poison if we gonna keep it 100. You feel me?
yeah,
He ain't doing the
yeah,
interview like, don't do this. When he's talking to Keefy D's and all this shit, and all these OG gangsters and shit, like, forget the baby, the nigga that used to be Easy E, but he's a well-known Crip nigga and shit, and all these type of niggas. It's not like he's saying these are cautionary tales. You feel me? He's just letting them tell their story, and their story be glamorizing. You feel what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Sometimes they know we shouldn't did that shit, but it's you feel me? It's a double-edged sword. So I'll say it does hurt the coach, but he is doing his job because that's his job.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I'm gonna go to the next one. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Uh, why do artists keep going on Vlad TV if they don't trust him? You hear a lot of people say we don't trust him. He's a coach vulture. He's this. He's that. But yet they keep going to him.
Because people are stupid and money is good. They think and they don't realize that money ain't shit. Your soul is everything, and people will sell their soul for a little limelight. You feel me? And then it's worse when your career is on the back end, right? Your career is slowing down. You know what I'm saying? And he's offering this $5,000 check, this $10,000 check. They're coming and talk about your story. You feel me? And so you go on, and then let that bitch hit. You're gonna come back and do it again, and you know all the rumors. You know what it's doing, but people don't always look at the bigger picture. They don't look at the effects of how it hits everybody and how it's going to hurt the community. They look at instantaneous. I need this money right now, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get it right now, and I'll worry about that shit later on. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's real, and it's a selfish mind state. It's a destructive mind state, but it's hard to tell a motherfucker that when he needs that bad. You know?
That's a great answer. The next question, right?
Yeah.
At what point does content become exploitation?
Two things. One, when you're willing to do anything for the views, right? When you're willing to degrade yourself, when you're willing to lower your character, when you're willing to sacrifice your standing as a person, man, woman, just to get those views or to get that money. Now, if you're talking about from the Vlad standpoint to the interviewer or the interview, it's when I know you playing yourself. I know you sound crazy. I know what you're saying is going to be fucked up for you. And I don't even stop you. I just, hey, go ahead. You feel me? And then I clock that check and you get your little check and then now the feds at your neck or your life is fucked up behind your decision. You see what I'm saying? You can exploit yourself or somebody can exploit you. And it's worse, just like the question before, it's worse when you know you about to be exploited and you still go. That's some slave mentality shit for you, for real. You know
I
what I'm
like
saying?
what you just said too. I like what you just said. You said you make that check, but now the feds on your neck.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
yeah, boss.
You always had a way with words, might I add.
I'm cloud, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, facts. All right, so I'm in this with one more question. I know we gotta wrap it up, but we're gonna
Yeah.
keep this one short and sweet. You feel me?
Mhm.
All right. Personally, if you was an artist yourself, which you are, and if you had the opportunity to go on Vlad TV yourself, would Vaughn go on Vlad TV?
See, that's it's a
People know.
scary question, dog. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a scary question because it's a scary and dangerous question. This is where you stand for something and the temptation is so heavy that you damn near can see how you can slip and fall and trick yourself into that spot. You feel me? Because you look at the benefits. You look at like, all right, going here now. Nobody knows me now, but everybody gonna know me in a minute. I don't have no paper now, but I'm gonna have some paper in a minute. You see what I'm saying? And that's what gets you. They say money do it all evil, and fame is a form of money because fame will get you more opportunities to get money. Money is money, and what you would do, and it's not money that's evil. It's what you would do for money, right? So,
Yeah,
I mean, I want to say the honest answer, dog. I would want to believe that I wouldn't. I want to believe that if I even tried to convince myself to do so, that I would try to go because this is probably what most people think. They probably think they're going to go on there and control the interview or control the narrative, right? And you don't have no control of the editing. You just talking. You don't know how they're gonna chop paste and do whatever they're gonna do. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I want to say one thing, but I don't want to be a liar. I want to say I would say hell no. But when you looking for that opportunity to take it to the next thing, it's scary. You know what I'm saying? What I would like to say is that if he's offering me an opportunity, that means there's other people that will open the door for me as well. So what I would probably do is to go look at some other platforms. You know what I'm saying? And see what they're offering before I go over here where I know is damnation. You see what I'm saying?
Let me piggyback off of that too.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, just throw it out there. The visuals is good now. They're on point.
All right.
For the past 2 minutes, it hasn't messed up. All right, so with you being an artist, and if you were invited to go to Vlad TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you have the brains to choose your words carefully. You know
You
what I
feel?
mean? Knowing
Yeah.
you, because I know you in real life,
Mm-hmm.
you have the brains to know what to say, what not to say, what can
Right.
be publicized, and what something that you need to hold back and keep it in private.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it all depends on the person, because there's not a gun being held to anyone's head telling them to say this or that. You
Exactly.
get what I mean?
Exactly. I,
You
I think some people get on there and they start feeling themselves and they start, telling their story. And instead of picking how to tread through their story, they just say the gangsterish, violence version of it. You see what I'm saying? And don't give a fuck of how that backlash gonna come to
even the police will tell you what
them.
you say can and will be used against you.
Exactly. Exactly. And according
Even
on
they're telling you.
yeah.
They
And
not sugarcoating it.
yeah, and that's why they call him Fed Vlad. You know what I'm saying? Because they would take that video of you sitting there voluntarily saying your piece, and they'll play it in court, and they'll be like, "Is that you, sir?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll definitely tell you themselves, hey, we're using this against you. So be
yeah,
careful what you say.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they used to tell us in school, in high school, I was in the criminal justice class, right?
Mm-hmm. Ironic.
And yeah, they used to tell us, what's crazy is, take it even deeper than that. You knowing me, a lot of people don't know, and I don't tell people I have a criminal justice degree.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, I graduated school with a whole criminal justice degree. But one of the things they used to tell us when they used to
Mm-hmm.
have guest speakers come and talk to us,
Yeah.
like actual people who's in the field, detectives and police officers and chief of police and investigators, they'll say, we thank you for making our jobs easy by getting online and telling us everything we need to know.
I'm trying to tell you,
They got whole divisions that just sit back and watch social media all day.
hip hop police, nigga. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people didn't believe that shit in the 90s. They thought it was just rap trap. But it really was a division that followed Puffy and, especially when the East Coast, West Coast beef was going on. You feel
Yeah,
me? There really were people like that, but there is a division of that because RIP to Julio, but there's niggas like Julio, there's people like Kodak, there's people like, you know what I'm saying, that really out here. King Vaughn, RIP to King Vaughn. How you think they got dirt at? You know what I'm saying? Like he did what he did, but he also, now let's see, hold up, with Dirk, I'm gonna say this before we go. He tried to play it smooth. He tried to do a little something, something here on record and downplay the shit. He that nigga smart. It's just the actions that backfired, and it wasn't necessarily his actions, but the people that that was putting the shit together. Really that left that trail that led back to him. But he never really got on there and said too much. He said a little something, something
yeah,
just to make people feel like. But people was pushing him so much and not knowing he was already, you know what I'm saying, moving shit. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's people that just straight up get out there and say, I did this, I do that, I'm like this, it's real life, no rap cap and blah 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 blah. And then they think that because they can hide under the underline the guidelines of entertainment. Or it's just music. Well, nigga, you really got guns, but it's just music. Nigga, you really a gang member, but it's just music. Nigga, you really got a record, but it's just music. You see what I'm saying? And you
Yeah.
take that and you abuse that instead of cloaking, nigga. You know, we talk about that. How do you think you can move something through the city and you look just like the nigga at the store? Nigga, you got keys in your shit. You
Yeah.
got keys in your shit. And you gonna be out here like, yeah, gang bang, get no nigga, you better put a goddamn cardigan on and goddamn turn that music down and get the you feel what I'm saying? People are
Exactly.
stupid. And that's why everybody can't have power. And that's why it's only certain people that can maneuver in certain types of ways at a certain level. You feel me? And you know what I'm come on, dog.
I definitely know what you're talking about, and that makes me think of Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
real Ricky Ross. That nigga's a smart ass nigga. And he'll tell stories. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he'll tell stories about he be around his crew and everybody going up to the people in his crew like they the boss. And he just sitting there chilling. I tell people all the time, you'll be talking crazy to that motherfucker at the table, that white man at the table, that dude, and you don't know that nigga could be like, oh, for real, that's crazy. Do, and you want to make it at the parking lot. You,
Yep.
you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
crazy. It's crazy. But people live the facade more than they actually live the life. People
You
talk that
you seen the
bullshit.
show Snowfall?
No, I haven't actually, but I've heard that this shit is like based off his life or something like that. Something similar. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. So answer me this, because I knew how he moved. How did
Yeah.
you know how he moved without seeing the show?
Nah, Rick Ross. I followed his story,
Okay, okay,
real story. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
The documentaries and the interviews and shit like that. I admired that man because of his ability to cloak and do those things.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I found that out through the show. That's the way
Yeah.
I found out.
Nah, I really because they always had different documentaries talking about him and the way he would do certain things and shit like that. And just having these underground remember in the night they had these underground, you know, DVDs and shit like that, talking about real rap beef and real drug lords and this and that. You feel me? And yeah, he was the guy. He was the first guy. If we're gonna be real, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't find out that was the real Rick Ross until I saw him on a Vlad TV interview, and
Yeah.
Vlad was asking him, did they do a good job on the Snowfall show and stuff like that. I'm like, oh shit, that's about this man.
See, you ain't been following because Rick, the real Rick Ross, uh, was when he got out of prison, he tried to sue Rick,
The fake
Ricky
Rick
Ross,
Ross.
right? You feel me? I mean, before taking his name, taking his image, you know what I'm saying? All that, right? And
Yeah,
and I think he won some money for it. I don't know the end of that, but I think he won some money for it, and I think that's why they came to an agreement where he can use the name, but he had to pay Rick Ross, the real one, some paper, and he's so smart. He took that money and started doing other things with it to make that money work for him. You see what I'm saying? So yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
think I seen that on Vlad TV myself.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm about it, dog. But it's always good. You know how we do, man. So I'm gonna catch all y'all cool kids at the cool table next time. Deuces.
All right, y'all make sure y'all like this video, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time, man.
I like them questions too, boy. Salute to you. And
Appreciate
fuck,
it, bro.
I'm getting that hoodie, nigga. Don't drop that shit.
All right, Brody.
All right.
Love.